We're looking like, hey everyone, how are you? Guess what today was in the world of the Kutch family?
Nobody's watching.
Stop saying that, Mason. No one likes that.
Hi.
Hi. So anyway, hi everyone. It's probably Grams. Hi everyone. I'm here with Mason. We had our first day. It's Grams. Hi Grams.
Hi, Grams.
Speak up.
Hi.
So we had our first day of school today, and it went well. Didn't it go well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us about it a little bit.
So.
What was the best part of it?
Well. The best part was probably seeing new people, and yeah.
Yeah.
We also had a new teacher.
Yeah.
A new room.
Yeah, a new room, because you went up to the middle school. You started middle school, which is in a different section of our school that only the middle school kids get to go into. It's like a big deal for the little kids to ever have to go in there. So anyway, so we started today. It was only a half day, but boy, howdy, it was early. But so we started and dropped you off at 8:00 and picked them up at noon, and everything was fine. You had masks on. And what else? Carrie. Oh, look, you could be standing right next to Rona.
Who's Rona?
You, in case you got it at school today. He did not. They were very, very strict about it. So anything else you want to tell people?
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to leave.
Yeah, you are.
No, you can't make me.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you give me screens.
Nope, go. I can take them away. That's what I can do.
Oh.
Okay, bye. Go, Mason. No one wants to see me yelling at you and fighting with you. Don't. Hey. And Carrie says she's just kidding. Now go, shut the door.
Why?
For calling you Rona.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, they should be. I am. Todd already took a nap a few minutes ago. I walked in to the bedroom, and he was laying on the sofa in our bedroom taking a nap. So anyway, so we had a first day. It was weird. It was really, really weird. So we have been, we've been pretty strict on the quarantine. I've not eaten in a restaurant in, well, whenever, like March. I've not gotten a haircut since March. Look at, the mullet is in full effect. I don't hate the top part, but the back is like, just need to get that trimmed up and everything else. And so, but we decided that the school was doing things right. So this morning, basically, we had to wake up at 6:30. That is the first fucking time I've woken up at 6:30 on purpose in months. Used an alarm on my, we have a little Google device screen next to the bed that has, it's like a clock also. And had the alarm set on that. First time I'd heard that in months also. So that was a hard part. And, 6:30 came around and I'm like, oh, hey, 6:30. So you're still pretty fucking ugly. I hate you. We'll be fine. We'll get used to it again. But got up by 7:15. We are required to go to a portal on our school's website stuff and enter in, do it like an affidavit basically for each of the kids saying they're not sick, they're not having any of these blah, 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 blah symptoms. We have not been exposed to anyone who is known to have had COVID. And that has to be sent in by 7:15 each morning for them to be able to go to school that day. We pull up. Parents are not allowed out of the car. They had designated drop-off spots, like 5 of them for the different grade levels and clusters. Pull up there, roll the window down. They shoot you with a laser on the forehead to check temperatures of the kids. If they pass, they get to go out and they have to go straight to the classroom. And they were there. And so, yeah, it was at our school has a little bit over 100 kids, and 2/3 of the kids showed up today. I did not think that was going to be the case because Mason only had 4 kids show up out of the 12 that we have in middle school. So our middle school is brand new. It's only in its second year, so it only has 12 kids. But other than that, Claire said everyone except for 1 kid was there. And again, these classes are small. Claire only has 10 in her grade to begin with. So, but it was good. So weird, though. The house was so quiet. I mean, like eerily quiet for a few hours. And tomorrow it'll be even more because they go the full day tomorrow. They get out at 3:30 tomorrow. So it'll be the full day tomorrow. Oh, what you doing?
Hi.
Claire's coming in. What'd you think of the school today? Are you okay?
Yeah.
What'd you think of school today?
It was fun.
Speak up. If you want to come in, speak up. Yeah. Wait, were you scared?
No, I did have butterflies in my stomach because now I gotta like take temperatures though every morning,
Yeah.
and then it's kind of different from last year.
It's like test anxiety. Like when you
Mhm.
have to take your temperature, you're like, what number's going to show up?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a little higher once we got there because the car was hot. And then you were like, oh my God, is it going to be too high?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. But it was good. Most of your friends showed up.
Mm-hmm. Other than
And did you have to sit at a desk that had plastic around it?
yeah, there's no more flexible seating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
our
for
school,
now.
one of the things that our school normally is known for is flexible seating where no one has assigned desk and there's just like sofas and chairs and tables and desks and everyone just sits kind of where they want, what it feels like that day to be where you sit. Well, obviously right now they're having to have assigned seats with like plexiglass partitions,
Mhm.
right? Yeah.
you're
So you
put
got to
into the
see your
box.
friends, but you didn't get to actually hug on them or anything like that. But it was still nice to see them, wasn't it? Yeah. So, alrighty, bye. That was sweet. Oh hey, 6:30, same Richie. Yep, exactly. That's how I felt. So then today, let's see. I saw that someone Bentley is asking, what did the first day actually consist of? The normal first day stuff, or was it here's what you can't do this year, rules for Rona? It was kind of a here are the rules of the road of how we're doing. It was kind of like getting used to your laptops. We had to buy Mason a laptop, and it was his first day in middle school. So getting used to the new schedule that he has, because they have a block schedule. So they literally only do 2 things each day. They do like humanities in the morning and science in the afternoon, or vice versa. It's kind of like college. And then they have a couple of things peppered in between those. But just getting kind of used to that. And again, they were only there for like 4 hours today. Figuring out like where you can go, where you can't, because there's like lanes in the school. One set of stairs is like one way, one is the other. Parents aren't allowed in the building. If you forget your lunch, we just have to, the school has some extras and we just have to pay them for it because there's no deliveries. Like normally half the kids got Jimmy John's delivered on a regular basis and that's not allowed anymore. So stuff like that. And that was just, and I also think it was just to kind of get them used to having a mask on because they had to wear a mask the whole day. So used to that, I bought Claire and Mason some like these silicone straps that go behind their head that the mask clip into so that it wouldn't push on their ears too much. But yeah, it was just, I think it was just like a kind of trying to dip our toe back into the waters of normalcy again. We'll see. Hopefully it didn't come back and bite us in the ass. But they were excited about it. So it was so quiet and I couldn't decide if I was going to take a nap, get a bunch of work done, or whatever. I ended up doing not any of those things. I had a couple conference calls, and other than that, I just was like, what do I do with myself? I haven't been alone since March. What do I do with myself? And so tomorrow I think will be a better day. I have a couple of meetings and stuff lined up already, video meetings lined up for that. And but when I picked them up, all the sound returned. And it was like I had lost my tolerance for it already. I was like, oh my God, y'all used all the words in the dictionary and it's only been 30 minutes. Like it was very overwhelming. But yeah, it was, but overall a good day. Again, I think 6:30 was the hardest part, and that's probably going to come bite me in the ass in a little bit. What else was I going to say? When it was one of the things that's our zip code is one of the lowest zip codes in the region for infections, and all of our kids it's like a local public school, but it's private. And so it's only really neighborhood kids that go to our school. And so we've got it's a little insular community with that. But then the numbers yesterday in Dallas, it was only like 150 people. Now they reported 5,000 and something, but it was a backlog. Get this, it was like 5,000 cases that they had not reported in July, like June and July, like crazy. And then they just dump them on yesterday's, which fortunately they did it with a disclaimer. But if you netted it out, we only had like 100 in Dallas County yesterday, 150, something like that. So that was good stuff. Eric says, no, flexible seating is not an expression you'll ever hear in Mr. Johnson's classroom. Yes, you're a much more rigid learning environment than ours. Our school does. It's called, it's from Columbia University Teachers College. It's called the Reading Writing Workshop. And basically it's not Montessori, but it's kind of along those same lines in that the kids are self-paced. Now they're directed on like, okay, now we're reading a story about something fictional, and it has to have a person that is at the center of it, right? And I need you to do this project, but they get to read whatever they want. And math, they're at kind of different levels at different times. And if they're uncomfortable sitting in a desk all day, they can go sit on a sofa, they can go sit on the floor, whatever. I love it. I helped pay for one of the classrooms, actually. I love it so much. So, and Bentley's saying they don't report back until the 31st, and students come in on the 8th. I think public school. Hey, Eric, have they said yet what ISD is doing for sure? I mean, I know 8th is like for remote, but then I think for a few weeks, and then they're going to do in person at some point, I assume. I don't know how that's going to work. So, and Amy is, I'm back at school and I feel like I'm Rona number 3. Yeah. I mean, I did when we got home, we drove straight home, and I said, take off all your clothes, put them in your hamper, take your mask off, put it in your hamper, wash your hands immediately. And we were already doing this before when it was flu season, because we did not want to get the flu again, even though we had the shot. And so we were already doing a no school clothes in the house and wash your hands as soon as you get home from anywhere, but especially from school. So that helped. And so we were already kind of used to that routine. Well, before, and we just returned to that. And so that was fine. It was didn't want to freak them out too much though. And Gary said, it sounds like they're cooking the books on those Rona numbers. I know. I heard about it at first yesterday, and I was like, how is anyone supposed to trust these numbers coming out if they're saying that if they had dumped those 5,000 numbers yesterday and just said, oh, we got 5,000 tests back, I would have been pissed. I was happy that they did report back and say a lot of these numbers are from July, which means July was a bigger shit show than we thought it was, and that we've actually recovered in a much bigger way from it if there was 5,000 additional cases that we didn't know about. So there's that silver lining. I wish they would go back through, and maybe they are, and apply it to each of the days so that 7-day rolling average that everyone is watching, so that would be affected properly. So, and Sarah is loving, did you have to use all the words in the dictionary in 30 minutes? Yes. I mean, it was so much. I mean, talking to me, talking to each other, talking to me, because they hadn't talked to each other all day either. Keep that in mind. They have been their only companions other than FaceTime with their friends and stuff, which they have been very prolific at that. But other than that, they've only talked to me and themselves almost exclusively for the last 5 months. So, blah, 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 blah. And then so-and-so said, and then so-and-so said, oh, Mason, did you hear? Blah, blah, blah. What happened in your class? Blah, 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 blah. I was just like, can we turn it off? Can we turn it off? It was so much. Anyway, it was a lot. Anyway, so that was the big news of the day. See, what else did I have to talk about? We watched Top Gun this weekend. Todd loves that movie. It is not one of my favorites, but we watched the original from 1986, I think. I was in the 6th grade when that came out. So that movie doesn't age very well in the age of Me Too, which, by the way, age of Me Too, I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think that all of it should have been an age of Me Too. So I'm not saying it should go back to the way it was. It's just stuff sometimes that was okay to do in movies, at least okay by the men in charge to do in movies, was very prevalent. Just a lot of toxic masculinity, the homoeroticism too, just them constantly. And why they all talk like this to each other? Oh, and I'm like, just get it on already. Just fuck. Like, it was so, like, Iceman and Maverick are constantly just talking within a breath's, I mean, just no social distancing at all in that movie. It was hot. And Val Kilmer, remember? I mean, have you seen him now? Poor guy. I think he's got a tracheotomy and he is very bloated. He's got some sort of disease now, and I think doesn't have long to live. But he was so fucking hot in that movie. And then also in the movie Top Secret, which is kind of the spoof, kind of the airplane Naked Gun version of a lot of these kind of spy movies. But oh my God. And such good music. I forgot how much I love the music from that movie and how many of those songs I relate, like Take My Breath Away. Pardon my lounge singer voice. That song, like, immediately is Top Gun in my head, and Highway to the Danger Zone, Top Gun in my head. And then that scene with the volleyball, I don't know why they were playing in jeans, and in San Diego especially. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. But you know what? Hot. It was good times. I did not mind it. And I actually don't even think Tom Cruise is very hot. Like, maybe physically back then especially. Now he's such a creepo weirdo that I think that I see that now more than I see the physicality part of it. Look at me being mature. And he's just not hot anymore. Like, so creepy. So, and what else? Crystal saying, talk about New Zealand. You sure called that one, Cooper. I haven't seen. Did something happen today? Did something come out? Tell me in the comments. What did I miss? What did I miss? Other than it had to come from somewhere. Are they hiding it? Were they hiding numbers? That's what I'm thinking. Let's see what else. You did your nails for the start of school. I actually did them last week. Got drunk and did them. And funny enough, I didn't do them very well, and they're kind of like an ombre effect. And I didn't mean for that, so I need to redo them. So, Mason, we've already had this conversation. Interrupted me about screens. They're not even supposed to have screens on school days. I made an exception. Do you hear that? I made an exception in the first place. Highway to the Danger Zone. Back when Tom Cruise was hot and we did not know what Scientology was. Exactly. Oh, man. And I still have not. Scientology, I still have not watched any of those Leah Remini shows or anything like that about it. Because it's just oogie to me anyway. Like, I don't actually need to know. New Zealand has 69 new cases, pushed their elections for a month. I told you it didn't just pop up out of nowhere. There is no way. Did that just happen today? I must have missed it in the news. There is no way that just came up out of nowhere. It was living there. They just didn't know about it or weren't talking about it. I called it. I love when I'm right. You talk about Val Kilmer like he's a diseased tree. Speaking of people who don't look the same from that movie, lead actress Kelly McGillis. Oh my God. Google her, Kelly McGillis. I'm not shaming. She is a very, very different, physically different person now than she was in that movie. By the way, she was kind of old in that movie. If you really figured out when she was born and how old she was in the movie, she was like a 35-year-old woman creeping on some 20-year-old boys. Like that. Like, that's another thing. Like, you see these movies and you're like, okay, that was like some creeper action there too. And, I thought she was British because in that movie, occasionally like a random accent comes out occasionally. But then I posted about it and then I researched it. She's actually from like Huntington Beach, California. But I think that she went to acting school or something in London or grew up part of the time in London or something. Because she has like one of those Madonna, like European accents where it's very, very proper. And then also Gwyneth Paltrow gets that occasionally too. So, So Crystal's posting a link. I can't click on links, but and then what else? I can't believe though that everyone's saying New Zealand, it's the best. Okay. Their population is less than DFW, Dallas Fort Worth. And we reported 150 cases yesterday. And they were reporting half of that. And we're still in the middle of a pandemic. So we'll see. Mike is saying, okay, stop. I guess you're talking about the hot guys. And lots of top fans. Yay! Thank y'all for being top fans. Also, I saw, y'all know this scandal about the, what is it called, Varsity Blues or whatever, where the rich people paying for their kids to have the SATs fixed and then also the college admissions fixed, right? And like Felicity Huffman pleaded guilty, went to jail for like 15 and a half minutes and then got out, right? Well, Lori Loughlin and her husband Massimo, whatever, the designer Massimo, can't remember what his whole name is. So, you know, they were not pleading guilty, fought it. Now they are going to plead guilty or they pled guilty already and they're being sentenced at the end of this month, right? And so they sold their house in Bel Air, and it's like a $20 million house in Bel Air, gorgeous. I did not realize that, maybe Massimo did, but I did not realize that Lori Loughlin had Bel Air money, because Bel Air is nicer than Beverly Hills, if you ask me. But I did not realize that Full House and some Hallmark movies got you some Bel Air money. I did not realize. Maybe she's famous in Japan or something. There's a lot of like really low rent stars in America that are actually super famous in like Saudi Arabia and Japan and places like China, stuff like that. So maybe that's where she got her money. But anyway, so they sold their house and they moved to effectively like the Valley. I don't think it was the Valley, but I think it's like close, kind of like that. And into a house that was only like $8 million. And again, only, but this is LA, keep that in mind. So Julie is saying she has Target money. Does she have a line at Target, or is she somehow related to them? Yeah, but she has that Hallmark Channel cash flow. That's what I say. So then, so they sold it. So her daughter, what's her name? Olivia Jane, Olivia something. Anyway, the daughter, the one who was supposedly on the rowing team at USC, is bitching now. She's a blogger and she was making millions of dollars a year on her YouTube channel and all that kind of stuff. So supposedly she's out bitching to her friends. No one who's anyone in LA lives in a house worth less than $10 million. And she does not want to go back to live with her parents. My thing is, if you're a fucking 21-year-old who, and I granted she did not get herself into this situation, her parents are the ones who fucked this up, or specifically, actually it's both of them. Felicity Huffman did it alone, but she and Lori Loughlin and Massimo did it together. But anyway, she's like, I don't want to go back. I'm not going to live there. That place is a dump. Like, it's a $8 or $9 million dump. That place is a dump. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm like, bitch, get your own house. You were old enough. I know you didn't get yourself into this, but you know what? You got some YouTube money, and I guarantee you got some other money. And you got someone with a beach house somewhere. Just go stay in Malibu for a while or something. I don't know. I'm just like, I do not, that level of entitlement. No one who's anyone lives in a house less than $10 million. I'm like, okay, whatever. So, and then Eric wants me to tell y'all about what I thought of the Dolly interview this morning. So Dolly Parton, thank you, Eric, for tipping me to that this morning. So Dolly Parton was on CBS this morning, which is the best morning show. It is the only one that is not garbage. I hate Today's Show. I hate Good Morning America. They're all just like insipid, just like internet garbage. They're not actually like news or any like brain food for your day. CBS this morning, on the other hand, is very like thoughtful, intellectual, well-produced. It's not a bunch of graphics that go everywhere. So CBS this morning, love it. So Dolly was scheduled to be on it this morning at the end of the show, talking about her imagination library, talking about her Billboard cover, which I talked about the other day. First time she's ever been on the cover of Billboard magazine and all that kind of stuff. Well, so Dolly was having internet problems at her house or something, so she had to call in. She had to call into the show. She was sweet as always, so funny, all of that. But she was like, when everything goes to hell, you always got the telephone always works, and everyone just kind of laughs and it's funny. But there were a couple of things where I'm like, like a little cringy. So there was one thing 99% of the interview was great, but they asked her about her statement the other day about Black Lives Matter. She said, of course, Black Lives Matter. Do you think your skinny little white asses are the only thing that matter? So that was her original response when she answered it in Billboard magazine. Well, this morning on the show, she made the mistake. She's like, Of course, Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. Gayle King, she went and Gayle King picked up a paper clip, and I swear I would not want to have been that paper clip. She was like on in front of the audience because it was only showing Gayle King and the other guy whose name I don't remember. She's talking to Dolly. She's just working this paper clip because I know she's just like, oh my God, why did she say that? Because never say all lives matter. It's not the right response. Whether it is true or not or whatever, it's not the right response because it's been co-opted by the wrong people. So anyway, I thought that interview went really well up until that moment. And then it was kind of like, and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, Dolly, we'll see you later. Bye. Because I think everyone, Dolly's people, CBS people, everyone was like, oh God, stop, get her off. Did you notice that too? Anyone watch it? Did anyone notice Gayle King's demeanor change all of a sudden? And then she started working on that paperclip. I thought that was funny. So, and let's see what else. Oh, we got a few more minutes left. You know you're old when CBS Sunday Morning starts your Sunday and 60 Minutes ends your fun day. CBS Sunday Morning, I love that show too. I record it and I watch it while folding clothes and such. I've also been watching Masterclass while folding clothes. I just finished the Anna Wintour one, which was fantastic. I'd already watched the RuPaul one. I started watching the Howard Schultz one, who is the founder of Starbucks. So when you watch 3 of them that are all basically about the same thing, about being just a better leader and a better person and knowing who you are, they all start to sound the same. So I'm going to stop the Howard Schultz one. I think I'm going to fast forward. There's a couple of topics in there that I thought were interesting, but I'm going to go to, there's one about dog training. That looks fascinating. There's one about interior design. Not that I need very much of that. Thank you very much. And there's a couple of others. Like Annie Leibovitz has one about photography that I think sounds interesting. I don't know if Annie is very good at speaking though. So that will make or break it. And Carrie's saying, I'm surprised Gayle didn't correct her, also bringing out the wooden cane hook for Dolly. Yes. So I am actually kind of surprised she didn't either, but I think it was so near literally it was like the last few sentences of the interview. And so it wouldn't have been time to recover. And it was the end of the show as well, like the end of the 2 hours. And I don't know. And I think everyone knows what Dolly meant. It's like she did not mean it the way that people who say all lives matter typically mean it. Like she meant it like only God can judge us, which is what she always says. And that she thinks that God, and I agree with this, God, spirits, universe, Oprah, whatever, is telling us right now that we need to love people more, think about people more, be kind to people more. If you do something that offends people, think about why you're still doing it. Is there a compelling reason why you're still doing it? Or are you just doing it because it feels like your prerogative to do it? Like she talked about that too. So overall, I think Dolly is in the clear. She just is an old white lady who maybe made a misstep on that statement. But anyway, Eric's saying I was listening more than watching, so I didn't notice Gayle's reaction. I don't think, though, that Dolly meant it to be ugly. No, I don't think so either, actually. I think she really does believe that all lives matter, unlike so many who use that phrase. I agree completely. My point is that phrase is so toxic now that just even if it's just kind of a third rail, I guess. And have you ever heard the longstanding rumor that Dolly has sleeve tattoos, and that's why she always wears those dresses with full sleeves? No, she does have tattoos. I've read an interview. She has many tattoos because she uses them to cover up some of her plastic surgery scars. Now, I don't know about sleeve tattoos because I don't know what plastic surgery you'd have gotten unless you got like the flaps cut off or something. But she has said publicly that she has tattoos all over her body, just where instead of having a plastic surgery scar, she wanted to have a pretty butterfly or something. What else? But the CBS this morning, CBS this morning is the best of the morning shows. And Carrie's saying Massimo has Target money. He was their first designer collaboration, and that's how he's a household brand name now. Yes, I agree. Claire had a pair of galoshes and a poncho from there. That's how they have all of their money. But she has as you said, the Hallmark Channel cash flow. Those must be bigger shows and more profitable than we know, because that's still a lot of Bel Air houses are like crazy expensive. Also, I saw the Golden Girls house. I talked about that a couple weeks ago. The Golden Girls house. So it's only the exterior of the house was what they used for the Golden Girls, and it's in like Brentwood or something there. It went on the market for the first time in forever. The inside looks nothing like the Golden Girls house because that was a set. But the that house went on the market, and I read this weekend that it sold, and it sold because of the interest in the show. Because who doesn't love the show? See my Golden Girls right there. Two things right there. They it went for $1 million over asking price. That's how many people loved it, and it was a really, other than the kitchen was for shit, but everything else was really cute and well done, and a big yard and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, well, that's all I got for today. I've used all the words now. That's how I feel. I feel like I've used all the words. So let me just double check and make sure I haven't missed anything. I think I caught all of y'all. And Carrie is saying they dedicate an entire month each year on the Hallmark Channel to the 25 Christmas movies, and she and Candace Cameron Bure, is that her last name, are millionaires. Yeah, I guess so. I think, and we've talked about this before, and we can talk about it later. I'm going to write that down. I think people make more than we think they make. People make more than we think. Todd and I get into this all the time about how much money celebrities are paid to like appear on TV shows and game shows and stuff like that. By the way, this big curl right here, that's a new visitor at the moment. And I think it's a lot more than we think. So with that, that's all I got. I'm going to say bye. I love you. You are loved. It's important to know that. And I love that you watched this. I'm needing this a lot today because between the silent treatment this morning, which was golden, to the reverse effects of it within 30 minutes of getting home. Although I am glad they had a great day, and I'm glad they had fun, and I'm glad they're getting a little sense of normalcy. But we'll see on that. But this is well-deserved, well-earned, well-needed. Just take care of yourselves. Let's keep those numbers coming down. And New Zealand, stop your lying. We see ya. We know what's going on. Okay, with that, I'm going to say bye. I love you. Talk to you later. Bye.